As the remnants of Nitheran society struggled to cope with the chaos brought on by the Traness manipulations, a darker, more sinister presence began to stir. Unbeknownst to the Tran or the Nitherans themselves, their planet was ancient in more ways than one, harboring secrets even older than the Traness influence. Beneath the surface, in the deepest corners of Nithra's forgotten history, there was an evil force, an ancient malevolent entity that fed on chaos and division. And the Traness actions had set the stage for its awakening.
The Traness destabilization of Nitheran society had weakened the collective will and morality of its people, breaking the barriers that had once held this dark force in check. As families crumbled, traditions dissolved, and morality became a relic of the past, the ancient evil grew stronger. But the entity could not fully manifest in the world unless it received a final offering, an offering that required the innocent lives of children. The Tran, though powerful and wise, were not aware of this hidden evil, but they began to notice strange occurrences throughout Nithra. Individuals among the population started to exhibit bizarre, unexplained behaviors. Some Nitherans reported strange illnesses, frequent headaches, unexplained pains, and blackouts that no physician could diagnose. Others showed uncharacteristic aggression, withdrawing from their families and friends. There were reports of people speaking in unknown languages, displaying supernatural strength, or reacting violently to religious symbols or practices. These symptoms were dismissed at first, attributed to the ongoing societal collapse. But as the signs became more widespread and intense, it became clear that something far more disturbing was happening. One by one, Nitheran children began to disappear, vanishing without a trace, leaving their families in despair. In dark corners of the world, whispered rumors spread. The children were being taken by an unseen force, summoned by the chaotic energy that the Traness ideas had unleashed. The alien overlords, sensing something amiss, retreated to their hidden underground fortresses, unsure of what was happening. They had not foreseen this development. Something was now operating outside of their control. It was not just the breakdown of society, it was the summoning of something ancient and evil, and it was coming for the children of Nithra. Soon, it became undeniable. Entire villages were overtaken by hysteria as children vanished overnight, and the afflicted adults exhibited the behaviors of possession. Many were found fainting in the streets, speaking in tongues, or displaying unnatural strength, lifting objects no Nitheran could have moved under normal circumstances. Sacred places, long abandoned, became sites of torment for those affected, and anyone who attempted to pray or perform rituals to the old gods was met with violent resistance. The evil force had begun to manifest through the very people the Tran had manipulated. The Tran, though powerful in their knowledge, could not face this threat alone. They had no experience with spiritual warfare or the metaphysical consequences of their actions. The planet, now teetering on the edge of eternal damnation, was slowly being consumed by darkness. The evil entity, lurking in the shadows, needed just one final ritual, the full corruption and sacrifice of Nithra's children. The possessed, under its influence, would perform this dark rite. But all was not lost. In the midst of this despair, whispers of an ancient prophecy resurfaced. Long before the Tran arrived, Nithra had been visited by a force of pure goodness, a true spirit, a guardian of the balance between light and dark. This being had once saved the planet from a similar destruction, sealing the ancient evil away, but it could only return when the Nitherans were on the brink of annihilation. As the day of reckoning approached, the last of the faithful among the Nitherans gathered in secret, attempting to resist the growing evil force. They knew the only way to summon the true spirit was through a plea made by the innocent, the very children the evil sought to corrupt. But these children were in danger, and time was running out. The evil presence grew stronger with each passing day, feeding on the chaos, and using the possessed adults to prepare the ritual that would bring about its full manifestation. In a desperate attempt to thwart the final sacrifice, the remaining faithful gathered what few children they could protect and took them to the most sacred place left on Nithra, a hidden temple deep in the mountains. There the children prayed, their voices innocent and pure, calling out to the true spirit to save them from the eternal darkness that threatened to engulf their world. As the night of the ritual approached, the air became thick with malevolent energy. Those possessed by the evil force gathered in the central city, preparing for the final act. Just as the first child was about to be sacrificed, a brilliant light split the sky. The true spirit had heard the cries of the children. A being of immense power descended from the heavens, bathed in radiant light, and its presence shattered the hold the evil force had on the planet. The possessed were freed from their torment, collapsing as the dark entity screamed in rage. The true spirit, embodying all that was good, confronted the evil force in a battle that shook the very foundations of Nithra. With a final strike of divine power, the true spirit banished the evil force back to the void from which it came, sealing it away once more. The children were saved and Nithra was spared from eternal damnation. But the planet was forever changed. The Tran, humbled by the events they had unknowingly set in motion, retreated from Nithra, vowing never to meddle in the spiritual affairs of a world they did not fully understand. The Nithrans, though weakened, began to rebuild, turning back to their ancient ways, knowing that the balance between freedom and order was delicate and must be preserved at all costs. In the end, it was not the Tran's knowledge, nor their advanced philosophies, that saved Nithra. It was the innocent prayers of children, and the intervention of a higher force that had watched over them all along. The true spirit, having restored balance, faded back into the cosmos, but its presence remained in the hearts of the Nithrans, reminding them that true power lies not in freedom without restraint, but in the unity of light and morality.